sir.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Give the invocation, please.
Okay. If I might take a moment, I want to apologize for not being here at the last appointment. I guess I'm getting old, I forgot.
We know the feeling.
Apologies. I valued the opportunity.
That's okay, there's a lot of us that live like that, it's just,
Let's pray. Our Father, we're thankful to you tonight for your goodness to us, for loving us and blessing us with life and the things of life. Lord, we thank you for our good city. Lord, we thank you for these men and women that are leading us and taking care of the business of our city. And Lord, tonight we ask your blessings upon them as they take care of the matters at hand. Lord, we look to you and trust you with life and trust you with these things. And it's in Jesus' name that we pray. And amen.
amen. We've got another room for the agenda tonight, so we'll get right into things. First off, approving the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion, corrections? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next up is the director report.
Yeah, we've got two on here.
Would you like to
Yeah.
tell us how many mosquitoes you kill?
Hello, thank you, council, mayor. Okay, we have a short and sweet report this time, okay? This is April and May, mostly May. These reports will start getting thicker and thicker as we go with a lot more information on larvicide and such. You can look, I'll just go through real quickly and start giving you a heads up what we got going. You can read the first part of the literature, it'll tell you information on the traps and it summarizes it up. Okay, the adult mosquito surveillance part of it, here look, it shows the mosquito types, species and stuff that we're catching in the traps so far, okay? I'll try to make this short and sweet, but I'll give you a little bit of knowledge. I feel like you need to know a little bit of something about this. So the difference between Aedes vexans and Anopheles, I know y'all mosquitoes, you folks. Well, some of these, the Anopheles is a predominant species around in this area. That will come on a lot stronger the month of July and August and start dwindling off second, third week of September, hopefully, okay? So that's a harder type mosquito for us to kill. So that'll become more of a battle. These other mosquitoes, Aedes vexans, floodwater mosquitoes and stuff, are, come from right here close to our home. Culex mosquitoes is a mosquito that we worry about with West Nile. Like I told you before, we will be testing those mosquitoes to see if we get any positives. And if we do, we will search out the problem and fix it immediately. Okay. There's a graph here, just kind of give you an idea. This graph will actually get better and better, and it really gets interesting whenever I'm able to give you a graph where it shows last season and the beginning of this season. That's when, and I'll point that out again next season, hopefully. Okay, and then you get on over here and you'll see where we put the larvicide. Larvicide applications to give you information where we were at, and we did the larvicide application, whether it's a ditch or whatever, okay? And the Aquabac XT is a liquid larvicide that we're using. It gives you some information there. You'll start understanding this more as these reports get thicker and with more information. And you'll look at the surveillance control. You have these little green dots, okay? Kind of shows where we were doing the surveillance control. Okay? See that? Okay. Now, I won't do this every meeting. I'll go through the specifics every meeting, but I need to give you a little bit of an education on this so you kind of know what you're looking at. And if you have questions, always ask me questions throughout. So, okay, and then you get to the ground adulticide. It shows, of course, the adulticide that we did. Okay? With the ULV and the trucks. Of course, remember these do have GPS monitors in them. And actually, Kennett's going to be blessed with computer systems. Right now, we're using GPS monitors. We have a new system that's gonna be attached to our, units in the trucks. It's actually a computer system with a thing called MapSphere hooked to it that we'll be using. Okay? You can actually, in real time, you can see where you're at. So if you see the street that we need to get down up here, you'll be able to see that you're coming to that street instead of having to do this guesswork, you know, and spread the streets or whatever. No, you're gonna be able to see where you're at. It's gonna be really nice. Okay, of course, it shows the chemical we're using, and you see we already changed a little bit on the chemical. Over the seasons, we do change chemical periodically because we want to try to stay away from resistance, okay? Let's see. And you got a few maps here, just to give you, where we, the trucks, you see where they spray and they stop and everything. The red is where they're not spraying. The green is where they're spraying, okay? And this will be, there'll be, as we go, there'll be more of these maps as we go, okay? Let's see. And the service request, we'll only had 2 so far, but, of course, you gotta remember, we've got a couple of weeks worth almost already. Well, actually, we do have a couple of weeks worth that's not on this, that we're into this month. That will come next, okay? Is there any questions?
I've had a lot of people ask me, what are they doing with mosquitoes? I haven't seen your trucks or whatever. I told them, I said, I knew that you started out doing a lot of larvicide.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We've been larviciding weekly, every week. We have had to spray now, and it'll show in here where we've had to spray. And we spray several nights. We've actually got a couple nights that are down. Our GPS was down we don't have a map in here, of course, but we have sprayed. The main thing, and remember, in mosquito control, is you want to larvicide as much as possible to keep from putting out that adulticide. So we need to put out as much larvicide as we possibly can, and that's going to increase as we start getting into more of the heated season. That's going to change in areas too somewhat, because as you go, you start out in April, May, June, you change the species of mosquitoes, and they come from different areas. You got a floodwater mosquito, your permanent water breeders and such. So that's going to change as we go. Now, as the rice fields get up southwest of here, we got a predominant southwest wind. We're going to get flying. They're going to come in, depending on the winds. The winds there's lots of variables involved that we have to watch for. Okay. So now,
What about Hurricane Bill coming in?
and that's a
They gonna
good.
bring us too?
I hope it stays down there. That can become an issue. That hurricane, if it gets up here and it drenches us for several days in a row, then it can be something that I have to really get on top of. We may have to, if it gets bad enough, we call for the airplane. We have to spray.
Start with the airplane.
Sir,
When you gonna start with the?
we are going to do that for the 4th of July to start with, as a complimentary deal to try to make sure everybody has a decent 4th of July. Okay? I've already put in for it. It may be the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd of 4th. We will not spray on the 4th that night, because I've inherited bicycles to 9mm slugs.
Where is the loading of the airplane gonna take place?
We will, either out of Jonesboro, or the Aeroplex in Blytheville, or Greenville. It's gonna depend. We'll probably have 2 airplanes going, and it's gonna depend on how they work it out, and it's gonna depend on what night we get it up this way and such. And I will keep everybody posted on that, okay? You will know. I'll keep you posted on that. I'll call up here to the office and let Ms. Reiser know, and the mayor, and make sure everybody kind of knows the day I'm gonna get it. So the closer we get I should know within the week of the 4th, what night I'm gonna get the airplane.
Okay.
So, and any large activities that might be coming up for the 4th that's around,
We have the fireworks on the 3rd.
that's what I was gonna ask.
On the 3rd.
I've got my hands, here's something I'm gonna start this year also. My boss got me some packets of mosquito towelettes, anyway, it's a little white, and it's supposed to be really good. It has some DEET and stuff in it that you can use on yourself. In some of these places, I was hoping that we could set, I don't know, somehow we have to get this to the public where we're having fireworks or whatever, maybe hand out some of these to the public.
So we're gonna have the community band on, I think it's the second, I think it's the second evening.
Yeah, Thursday the second.
Okay, that's in John's Park, so we can certainly hand them out there, that would be a great place to
On
hand
the
them out.
second, okay.
Park, if that would be.
Actually, what I was talking about is when they're sitting and watching the fireworks, do they have a
Well,
place that
that-
they
They gather up in large portion out on the fairgrounds or on the.
See, that's kind of what, like up at Blyville out there at the, by the ball fields, they can have the fireworks show and then they gather up. What we've got on mind is maybe setting up a table and just letting people come by and give them, you know, hand them out and help them out for the Fourth and stuff. And we do spray prior to that, don't get me wrong, and we'll do a barrier spray, but you still gonna have a few mosquitoes. Try to do everything and
They won't be
everything.
as hard for those, will they?
No, absolutely not. So,
I would say that, you know, well, I'm involved with the fairgrounds out there, and you've got some in my hands, and I usually go out there to watch myself, but I could probably give some of the young people where I say, here, go hand these out, and they'd be glad to do it. Of course,
Yeah,
a lot of
I think it'd be
people park
kind of-
over in the shopping center lots and whatever else, and so, but
right.
there are a lot of people that use the fairgrounds to watch.
Okay, okay. So that's something I'm wanting to work into the mosquito control. I've got an okay, and I'm actually pushing this big through the whole company, this one particular thing, because honestly, it was Sabrina there in Blyville that come up with this idea, and, I think it's gonna be really a good thing to do for the public. So we'll start doing that, and we'll start here in Kennett, of course, Blyville and such, and start doing that for that, so, second, I need to, can I get that from you?
What time of night will you planes be flying?
Short.
What time?
Ideally, I'd like it around 9 or 9:15. Ideally, around 9:05 to 9:15 is when the abundance of mosquitoes, you know, come out. So, you know, it could end up being that it's 10. We'll still have plenty of mosquitoes to kill, and we'll get some relief. But, so I'll have to see how that works out, because we got so many different cities. More than likely, what's gonna take place is I'll get to do all of this area here, from Atai, Kennett, Blyville, and Wardell, all at one time, hopefully. So that'd probably be 2 loads in the airplane. More than likely, I'll be loading that at the Aeroplex there in Blyville myself, and also flying as observer. So,
I don't know what the mosquito count is. I have not seen any mosquitoes at all.
we got a few mosquitoes, but, you know, we are larvicidal, so we're keeping it down. And I told y'all, I'll not get rid of all your mosquitoes. It's just not possible. I can make a better way of living, you know? It's
A
not-
lot better it was.
So far, it's been better.
Well, I wouldn't have a job anyway, so.
Can't get rid of them all.
But I understand, it's, we've made, there's no doubt, we've made a difference now, because I'm telling you, we put some if you look at this larvicide data, you'll see we put some larvicide, and that's gonna increase, because it's gonna change, like I said, through the season here. There's gonna be more spots that we have to treat and stuff. But June, July, the last part of this month, probably from the second week, well, probably the end of the first week of July and on, things are gonna get to where we gotta work at a lot harder, okay? So, we will end up with some more mosquitoes. Just remember, think about it, you know, like right now, you notice the difference. Think about what it was like when you talked to me in July. And think about what it used to be like when you talked to me again in August. We can reduce the mosquitoes and we can make it good. We're gonna have variables. When the wind gets up 25 miles an hour, and they're gonna blow them in out of the rice field or wherever from out here. We're gonna have to ball up on them, you know, and like, you know, run trucks and run an airplane or whatever we need to do with all the larvicide along with it, so.
We had between 250 and 300 bicycles ride into town over the weekend, and they camp out in
Mhm.
tents, a lot of them,
Right.
and I had no particular complaints about
I was
mosquitoes.
very aware of that bicycle deal. Sure was, so. That's the thing, we just need to stay on all the activities going on. For one thing, like the bicycle thing and the 4th of July and the other things, well, if we can treat that, it's not always good, it's never gonna be 100%, but if we can make it a lot better, then we've done something. So. Any more questions?
I'm pleased.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
Well, we keep working at it. It's gonna get harder.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thanks for having me.
Okay, just moving to old business. First up, the approval of rezoning property on Southwest Drive.
First reading, an ordinance rezoning a certain parcel from R1 Single Family Residential to B1 Neighborhood Business, a part of the northwest quarter of the northeast quarter of Section 10, Township 18 North, Range 9 East, in the city of Kennett, Duncan County, Missouri. This is a 2-acre tract on the west side of Southwest Drive, across from Memorial Garden, which is, the plans are to put in a funeral home mortuary.
Mortuary or
Crematorium.
crematorium?
Crematorium,
Yeah.
got this straight from James Powell.
Yeah.
Will not be in Kennett, it'll be in Piggott. Him and the guy in Piggott are in partnership. He said the crematorium will be in Piggott, not in Kennett.
The plan is for a funeral home.
Okay. I move it.
I second it.
Motion second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Second reading, an ordinance rezoning a certain parcel from R1 Single Family Residential to B1 Neighborhood Business, a part of the northwest quarter of the northeast quarter of Section 10, Township 18 North, Range 9 East, in the city of Kennett, Duncan County, Missouri.
Motion,
Motion?
second.
Second.
Motion second, any discussion?
Roll call.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Motion passes. Next up in the packet, we have the housing authority contract. Also discussed last meeting and waiting for this payment.
Tracy and I met with Sharon, and there were some changes that needed to be made. And so it was, I believe the question, it said it was a 2-year period. The contract is a 2-year period, but it's the 120,000. Okay, it shall not exceed 60,000 annually during the 24 months, so that's 120,000 for the 2-year contract. And she made the other changes that were requested also.
Now, what are you talking about the,
This is the housing authority, 2 officers for over
okay,
there.
all right, okay, yeah.
So we're not getting as much money as we thought we would get.
Well, you're getting,
No, we're not getting, but, I mean, $60,000.
We have 2 officers, that's only 30,000 a piece, right?
But no, it covers the gas and it's supposed to cover gas and oil, and they've been paying more than that, put it that way.
I think they pay more than that total, but I believe there's 2 different contracts. There's one contract for 2 and one contract for 1.
There is, but the other one's part of the separate person.
Right.
For these, I'm just saying, we're getting less money. You guys can have to admit it.
we submit the bills to them, which includes gas,
retirement, insurance, uniforms, and their salaries.
and we get reimbursed for that.
But are they gonna start watching it and not reimbursing us more than, because haven't they been reimbursing us more than $60,000 a year?
I would think so.
For the 3, I mean, more than just for the 2. But I mean, if this is the contract, that's fine, we just need to be aware. Because I think in the budget, it shows something different.
We have a copy of the old contract.
It's hard to tell what it's been, because last year there was an inflated amount we show as revenue, because we failed to bill them on a timely schedule. So when they paid us, there was an increase, the check was larger than we typically would get.
It fell into this
This budget year.
budget year instead of what it belonged to last year.
I'm not, and maybe, we don't know what the previous contract said, and did it have a specific amount or not?
Well, she said this is the exact contract that we've used for years.
It had the same amount, but I'm just saying, we've been billing, I'm just pretty sure, I mean, we could go look, but I'm pretty sure we've been cleaning. Chief Dennis, you know this.
I think that 60,000 per officer would be 120.
No, it's not 60,000 per officer, that's what I'm saying, that's what everybody keeps saying, but it's not. I mean, it's 60,000 per annually total. It's not per officer.
I know they've paid 100% for 3 officers for the last 20 years.
But that would exceed $60,000. But I mean, I think this is the contract that was real.
Yeah, it's been 30,000 per officer for quite a while. I mean, that's what the contract, okay, I'm saying what the contract is.
Yes,
I don't
you're
know,
right.
I don't know what the actual reimbursement amount is.
But like I said, this is the contract, this is it.
Sticking that line.
This contract only stipulates 2 officers, you said we got 3 over there?
There's another contract.
We've already approved the contract for one person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember how much it was for? I don't remember, so I'm asking you.
If you'll notice though, in the maximum compensation, it says that the parties may mutually agree to change or modify the agreement due to cost increases, fringe benefits, or other operating expenses. So it may just be a mutual agreement that they pay anything over the 60,000 as well. So if that's the way it's been being done.
Well, and it spelled out that it was paying the salary, overtime, benefits, training.
Right.
And she talks about, like, she has 2 different accounts that she pays us from.
And she has up to, would she say 24 months to allocate that money?
Something like that, yeah.
Well, if it's 60,000 per operator, that's probably a reasonable number in terms of salary fringes and operating costs and whatever else.
But it's not. No,
It's
this
not
rig is
60,000
for 2.
Yeah.
For 2. But I said, if this is the contract, that's fine, we can vote on it, but I just think we need to be aware when we're budgeting that that's how much it is for. It's for 60,000 for 2 officers, it's not 120 for 2 officers, which is what usually gets said.
Yeah, it's just for 2.
But the 60,000, the amount doesn't specifically say per person.
Well, it just says exceed the total of 60,000 annually.
And not to exceed.
This current year's budget, we have budgeted $150,000. And we received so far $186,000, which was the carryover from the previous year.
Yes.
So
Do we know how much was for
this
the
tells me
previous
it's
year?
more like $60,000 each, not 2.
I thought you were.
You think, Bob, you think maybe that will cover the fuel expense too, plus
It has in the past.
I mean, that's what it's for, right?
They've done a good job providing remuneration for what we've given them. It's just that our billing sometimes has not been timely. Would that be right, Chief?
Yes, I mean, every year it's been paid 100%. You know, if it's over, they adjust that.
The carryover.
And their budget year may be different from our budget year too.
I make a motion that we go ahead and approve the contract but stipulate that we verify that amount per person.
We have a motion,
Second?
one second. Any further discussion?
For the 2-year period or the 1-year period?
You know, the amount per person, 60,000 per person, or is it 60,000, 30,000 per person?
I don't believe it's 60,000 per person.
Really not.
I'm not willing.
We don't have a clear number remember what it was before, or how much was for the previous year,
It's
so.
the same amount, but they just always paid more. All I'm saying is now that she's maybe more aware of it, I don't know if she's, we need to clarify with her, or is she just gonna go ahead and write the checks for whatever we submit, or is she gonna hold to the contract? If she's, like somebody suggested, just okay with going over, then it's fine, but I don't, we need to make sure of that, because this contract clearly says $60,000 annually, for, you know, which would be $120 for the 2 years, which is not what we've been counting, but if she is in agreement to pay whatever we bill her, then that's great. But I don't think we need to put our budget,
I agree, I'd like to see this firmed up, particularly before we finish with the
Well,
finance.
I'll withdraw my motion.
Well,
Let's get it verified, there's no need to.
Yeah,
when we have the meeting for the budget, since we'll have to have another one, can we do this at that time too?
Of course,
Because
it
this
just,
has to be approved by July
it just
1.
needs to be, just make sure it's on the agenda,
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause if
on,
we draw
on the, on the, on the notice of the
we draw a
special
special
meeting.
budget meeting, we have to, or special meeting, we have to stipulate what we.
Yeah, on the notice of the meeting, you have to,
The other contract's got more money.
you have to just tell what the
So
meeting
that'll
is
be
for.
budget and then the Kennett Housing Authority.
Basically, we're gonna table this unless there's opposition.
All right.
Okay? Payment for a new fire truck, Mr. Watt.
Yes, I'm giving you a printout there. The grant period ends July 16th, so I got the BIN, truck's on the line. Once we get the BIN, we can apply from the federal government, which I did today, for the $711,990, their part, and we should get it within a 11 day period. Our part, the city, for just the truck is $37,473, and that's 5%. Now, what's left in this grant that we have to clear out before July 16th, and this is true of all federal grants, they want you to meet certain standards out there, and if you aren't, and you're applying for something, you put it as part of the grant, it enhances the chance of getting the grant. Part of it was they wanted you to meet a standard on either the NFPA physical or at least the Department of Transportation physical. So at the time that we wrote the grant, we got a price of $300 for 7 people. So there's still $2,100 in the grant that we're to use to get 7 of the full-time apparatus operators a DOT physical. That part will be $105 on the city, unless the cost of the physicals have went up, and then we have to pay that. The max that they'll pay is $2,100. So this here gets us paid and clear on the truck. We already discussed
committed,
it, yes,
yeah.
and capital improvements.
I move that we write the check.
Is that a
I'll
second?
second it.
Motion second. Any further discussion?
I got a question, John.
Yes, sir.
What are you gonna do with the old ladder truck?
It gets turned into, actually, that was what you call a loaner vehicle from the Department of Conservation. And so
Go back to the.
it goes back to them, and there's another department that we've been working with in the area that they're gonna work with them to try to get the truck allocated to them. But technically, we have to turn the truck, we don't have room for it anyway, and anyway, for us,
Department of Conservation.
yes, the Department of Conservation. It's through a federal excess property program. The truck originally was designed and purchased by the federal government, and it served its initial duty on Fort Leonard Wood Army Base. And then when they get that excess property, they turn it over, and it can be screened by state and local entities, so it was turned over to the Missouri Department of Conservation, and then they have a federal excess property program. Okay?
Okay.
Any
Any other
discussion? Questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Williams, got the dog pound expansion.
Dog pound expansion, all right, we have gotten a substantial amount of fill dirt moved in. We've had the roller compactor out there the last, some of the last few days, since we got a little moisture on it. I'm be working out there Thursday and Friday. I have two gentlemen from community service, or the probation and parole, that are gonna be working with me. We're gonna be doing